Oh man, we are here this live Lussetto. We're sorry we're running late. Jason Schultz has been 2 days working in the Iowa State Fair, and we're trying to run this without him. So hang with us just a second while we get Dan Christensen here.
Take it. Send it in text.
Oh man, hang with me just 1 second. Put some video there.
Who rules the world? Girls rule the world. That's who rules the world. Laura Griffiths, Fremont, Nebraska, Mama's Nightmare. Boy, she's got her work cut out for her to catch Dad.
Yeah.
Wow, get on that rev limiter hard. 298.84 for Laura Griffiths, Fremont. 298.84. So Laura's going to finish in the fourth spot. Stone Cold Lucy will be third at 320. Mean Farmer, Loy Warman, he's kind of the head of all that shooting match. He'll finish second at 337. And Dad Renter, Larry Renner, with the win and running wild, 351. Wow, oh my.
All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Dan Christensen will be getting here as soon as he can. We're just going to kind of recap the week. Seems like a month, but the week that we had, we were in West Point, Nebraska, Thursday night. They ran the Heartland show there Thursday, and then also was the main outlaw group was there Friday. We continued on and headed west to one of our west shows, clear out in Hemingford, Nebraska, Friday, and then on to Palmer Saturday. West Point, I can't say enough about that. They built a beautiful new facility. We got to work with go ahead, Dan. We got to work with Ed Walker with the X Factor sled, which is always a pleasure. Hey, Dan, how are you? And we had a very good show there in West Point. We also worked with the Northeast Nebraska Pullers. They brought in a limited amount of classes, and it was great to have those guys, a bunch of local guys, some people on the fair board and different things. I feel like it's always beneficial for our group to work with the other groups, big and small. So we ran those guys through for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then rolled through our show, and it worked out darn well. Dan, you got anything you want to add to that? I'll look up the results here real quick. Dan is. Let's unmute Dan.
He might have to do it. Hey,
got me?
Yeah, you two are fighting. She's muting you, and you're unmuting.
I had myself muted, I guess. As far as Palmer goes,
as West Point.
West Point.
Forgot about we started clear back then on Thursday last week.
Well, it was a 1,400-mile week, so
yeah, you got to drive a little more than I did, but that was still plenty.
A little bit, yeah, it was enough. No, West Point was a great show as always. Great facilities. I mean, great turnout.
Yes,
I really like pulling there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And I'll tell you one other thing before we get into the results that I was thrilled about, and this doesn't apply to too many people because I feel like I'm the old guy there now, but I had a guy come up to me that literally had pulled against my dad, or his dad had pulled against my dad with the Farmall M, and
Really?
believe it or not, he was pulling his dad's original tractor in the Northeast group.
Oh, wow.
So that was really cool. And I had another guy that come up to me, and he ended up with Otto Reamer's old modified, which is, I mean, we're talking back into the big block Chevy double front with an M rear end days.
Really?
So I mean,
Wow.
it was it never, for me personally, it never gets old talking about that history.
Yeah,
from the way
yeah,
back.
definitely.
So that was really cool. We're going to roll into the results. One thing that I was very excited about, we had a few extra guys come from the Minnow, South Dakota area with a couple of our street mod 2-wheel drives or similar. And what's going on with that class is we've got some guys like Spencer Hazeman that has been broke, waiting on parts for most of the year, which is not unheard of right now. Loy Warman's 2 daughters have been pulling in that class, but it's it needs a shot in the arm, and it was great to have a couple of the trucks come down from South Dakota and hook with us, and we're hoping to get with those guys this winter and see if we can't get something worked out to where we can pull together, which I think would be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they brought some nice pickups along. I mean, they ran very well.
Yes. In that class, we had 5 trucks. We had first place was a Distressed with Justin Hundle. And let me tell you, that little truck ran.
Yeah.
Street DOT tires, and he picked up the front end and just got the heck out of town. Probably got closer to the lake than Dan did that night. And second was Thunderstruck with Madison Griffs. And then Farmer's Daughter, Casey Honesty. And then Dale Kessler with Bone Stock. He was another one of our guys that come down from between Yankton and Minnow, South Dakota. And then Matthew Hunick hooked as kind of an exhibition hook. He generally pulls in the naturally aspirated class. He's kind of in between classes. He's probably more suited to probably pull in the street mod. But when the family goes, they can take all 3 trucks. I sure don't blame him for hooking. Hooking in the natural class. So it was great to have five cooks in there. We had 7 classic mods. Derek Fleshner of Bad Ticker took the win, which has been kind of a trend. That tractor is dang strong, and he's got beautiful tractor. Second was Little Red of Bob Palmier. Third, William Pfister, One Piece at a Time. Fourth, Byron Pfister, 1468. Fifth, Bob Palmier. Okay. And 6, Little Ford with the Heartbeat, Dave Priest. And 7, Darren Priest with Rudolph. Move into the Pro Stock 4x4 class. We had an inflection of some new guys, which was good. Al Ferguson is one of the kind of a regular on the Outlaw main series. Dropped in, I guess, as the story went, he was helping put oh goodness gracious,
Tristan
the
Myers
rambunctious tractor together, and he come and help those guys get things back together. Yeah, Tristan Myers tractor. Yeah, I'm still trailing behind in those 1,350 miles that I drove, Dan. With Four Season Gambler, he took the win at 360. A new truck that hadn't been out for a few years. Mike Holtap, a real nice square body Chevy called the Farmhand, was second at 346. Clint Smeal, Tantrum, Ford was third. Fourth was Screaming Bohemian of Chris Boats. And then we had a couple more Yankton, South Dakota guys over budget. Joe Kodalik. Sixth, just one more, Matt Schinkel. And 7th, Bohemian Outlaw, Paula Boots. Good to see that truck back out. Bronson Gibbons, Razzmatazz, number 8. Mike Shutt, Ready or Not, number 9. And 10, Matt Hamada. So we had a darn good class of Pro Stock 4x4s.
Yeah, we did. And Bronson's just loving this year.
Oh, it's been great, and backtracking a little bit to see him get a win. Picked up a win in Neely a while back, and he's had a good year.
Yeah, he has.
We'll move on to the 3200 Superfield. Mark Reardon, regular on our side and both the national side, picked up the win at West Point there at 323. Like father, like son, David Peterson, 322. Fixed income, Evan Meenan at 322. Janelle Hoagland, letter buck from Wyoming as well, 318. And Adam Serve with the Dark Knight at 311. That's another reason we love West Point is, man, we get a lot of people showing up too. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that helps to have that 2-day like that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Moving the light limited super, this guy to my right over there, Dan Christensen again, also a trend, 329 with the wanted. My mom's tractor finished up at 313 for second place. Ed Walker with another nice run with Blue Ribbon Binder at 303. And Scott Walker, from my vantage point when I was watching Dan, that tractor, I know it's not finishing where he wants to right now, but it's starting to make some progress. He was cleaned up and running good for, the first 200 feet. And if he gets figured out what's letting him down, he's gonna be whooping our butt.
Oh yeah, he's getting it figured out.
Yes. We had 130 diesel truck show up, a John Casper, which you went and see him while. It's also good to see him too. Natural aspirated 2-wheel drive. We had a big class there, 10. It was good to see Matt Phelps come down and hook with this. He won the class at 339. I do believe he is maybe not winning the points, but he might be right near the top in the Outlaw National Series.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Second place was Terry Van Beek with Torched and Twisted. Luke Renner is basically a hometown pull there at third place. Mean Farmer, Carly Steffensmeyer, and I don't know if you found out about that, but Lloyd did not drive. His youngest daughter that apparently is a rodeo girl, she drove, and she didn't show that thing any mercy. She let her rip.
No.
Fifth place, Aaron Deckers with Raging Red. Josh Honnessy, Daddy's Nightmare, 314. Jason Hunick at 311 with Welfare Express. Allie Warman with Hawaiian Punch at 310. Laura Griffs at 280 with Mama's Nightmare. And Racing Mason, Matthew Hunick at 265. And then moved on to the light limited pro class. Also, this is another neat part. There's a lot of local guys there with light limited pros that, that just they came and just stay for 2 days.
Yep.
Which it's nice. Nice to get some new faces in our group. But one tough customer come out of South Dakota as well as Kyle Stefanik with Toxic.
Yep.
He walked away with the win there that night, 334. Jeff Myers, which is good to see the old man drive. We always see Tristan, but
yep.
Rambunctious at 331. Tim Dunklau with Ground Force at 322. Another Wyoming tractor, Resurrected Deer, 314. Our diesel tractor there at 304 at fifth. Sad to see, but Andrew, he blew an injector line there that night. Is that?
Yep.
I know it dropped the cylinder just right off the line. And it was 298. And BJ Lund, it was good to see him. BJ and his wife, I think Michaela, I may screw that up, but they're a pretty big part of the Northeast group. It was good to see them come and cross over and hook with us in the Heartland show. So we sure appreciate that. But yeah, that was a good night, and always nice to have our announcer there from South Dakota as well, Dale Bartels.
Dale, he does a great job.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. So we got wrapped up there, and there's quite a few of them stayed to hook the second night with the Outlaw National Series coming into town. And Dan and I loaded up and headed for the other end of state. We got to tour almost the entire state on Highway 2, which looks great this time of year with the rain they've got. So
yeah, definitely.
And the streetcar racing, and
yeah,
I don't know what time that was.
So we ended up in Hemingford, Nebraska, which what was that? I think it was 370 miles. Was that give or
I
take a
think
little
that
bit
is.
from West
I
Point to
think
Hemingford?
so. Yep, I think
I
that's right.
slept through part of them, I think.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I was driving. Actually, I'm joking. It was a
Oh.
long night.
That's the one I got to take naps.
Yeah. Yep. There we had 9 classic mods there in Hemingford. Bob Pommier, Little Red, he also made the trip. He come out with the win there in Hemingford. Second place was Dave Priest with Little Ford with the Heartbeat. William Pfister, One Piece at a Time. Kyle Lussetto with the Bow Tie Binder, number 4. Sharon Cooley, number 5. Rumor Has It. Byron Pfister with the 1468-6. Darren Priest, Rudolph, number 7. Bob Pommier, Grand Island with Farmall M, number 8. And Derek Moody from Wheatland, Wyoming with Flying U, number 9.
Yeah. It's good to see Bob traveling like he is, and the priests.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're making the miles.
Absolutely. Oh,
I think Bob's having a great time this year.
Well, and I also think I think it's also been nice to see. I mean, he picked up a semi and a trailer over the winter, and I think that just made hauling easier.
Oh yeah,
for him.
yep, yeah. And then we got poor William Pfister. He's pulling with one gear left in his transmission, and it's not the one he pulls with, and he's actually doing very well. So,
Yeah. Oh mercy. I'm gonna leave my comments to myself, but it's got less teeth and yeah. I better stay out of it. Hey, there's Andrew Dolan. I'd like to see one of those guys make an appearance here coming up.
no
Nothing
kidding.
else. Randolph, Iowa's coming up. That's real close to home.
Yeah,
Pro stock pickups out there have been a little slim. But Stephanie Farrell making noise
Distance didn't
was the one truck there.
transfer.
Our big block econo mod, Cornvet Maria Miller. Boy, after a couple hooks at the start of the season, she's been just driving around everybody. That thing's been tough.
She gets
yeah.
the
She's
station
getting her.
time she's
She got it figured out pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, she don't mess around. Second
No.
place was her husband Ivan Miller, roaring red, and Kyle Lussetto drove oddball the John Deere to third place there. We had a couple 2.6 trucks. We've got a couple of them been following us around a little bit out west. Jacob Ratliff, I tell you what, those guys, it was kind of a tale of two tracks a little bit. Some of the tractors early weren't getting hooked up as good, and the pickups for some reason were flying.
Yeah.
Jacob drug us out to 377 there with a heck of a run, and there was 2 trucks, but Dylan Manuello, when he unloaded, thing was wet stacking real bad, and I tell you what, he's done a ton of work over the winter to that thing. It's pretty darn tough, and he wanted to make sure he just didn't want to hurt anything, so he declined to hook and put it back on the trailer. Sounds like things are good. And
Good.
what also will be neat, both of these kids are loading up and heading to the Scheid Extravaganza here,
really?
not this weekend, but the following. So
Good.
it's always a proud moment for us when our guys out west, take it to the big stage and see what happens.
Yeah.
3200 Superfield, we had Lauren Hotzen, a little bit of red at 303, and Gordon Messberger with Ruffian at 248. Light limited super stock. Hard to believe we had a Dan Christensen win.
That
Dan had a
track had
great-
me fooled.
Yeah, well, you're not the first. We talked about that. That is for our part of the world, that is one of our better tracks out here.
Yeah,
And,
I was so worried I wasn't going to be able to get a hold of it, but it worked.
You got a hold of most of it.
Yeah.
And found a sweet spot at the end of the track that got you out there at 349. And second place was Dave Todd with Deuces Wild. Third was my mom with Old Biddy. Greg Russell at 280 for fourth. And one other notable deal is Ivan Miller made it back out with his little alcohol tractor turning red at 265, which that thing has been through a laundry list of improvements. And they're trying to get a handle on the fuel system. But that thing, I'll tell you what, showed some real promise. I think You give him a couple more runs, I think might be sitting there parking in that second, third place.
Yeah. It's running good.
Yes. Light limited pro stock. We had 7 tractors. Jim Darnell took the win with Crazy Horse. Son John takes second place with Red Rider. Ivan Miller has had a resurgence this year. Had a heck of a hook and ended up number 3 at 324. Fourth was Dirk Bowerly with High Dollar Hooker at 311. 314.32. And my mom was just right behind there at 311.24 at 5th place. Tanner Douglas at 307. And I know they've had a few issues, popped a Charger this year, but it's good to see them back out. And that tractor just continues to get a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Yep. And he's doing a great job of driving.
Resurrected Deer out of Cheyenne. He had tried to get some stuff together just to finish out the season and popped a Charger. So, fortunately, and then I will make fun of my son, Zach. He pulled our turbine there at the end of the show, and man, we've had a lot of troubles with the improvements. As you can see, the thing is back in the shop.
You see that?
Working on some brakes, and a few of the improvements didn't go quite as planned. I think it's still nice. But why we drive back and forth on our Heartland side, they've been with us since 2011. Great fair board. Those guys are willing to do whatever it takes to make that show work. They put a lot into it. Well, albeit we're tired and dragging, I'd do it again for them, and likewise with West Point. I mean, I love both of those. It's just unfortunate the way it falls.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know about Dan, but we pulled a good 3 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep there Friday night, Saturday morning, and loaded up and headed for Palmer, Nebraska, which is quickly turning into a favorite stop on our whole schedule for not just us, but for even some people on the national side.
Yep.
Those guys, phenomenal. Yes. And Steve Bonzinski and that whole crew. Great to see Big Iron stepping up and helping do what they do. That's been great. And just for the guys that don't know about it, if you watch even in the live stream there, this is in Clay's yard. And you literally drive in between the grain bins and everything into just a small, almost like pasture type thing out behind the house. And Clay hauled in 400 foot of clay, 40 foot wide, put guardrails, had new lights this year, which were a nice improvement, but could use a few more. They do a farm pull in the afternoon, which was well attended. They had 50 some hooks. And then at about 6, I think we got started with our Heartland division, and we probably set a record for the number of hooks. Yeah, there's a good picture of the barn.
Yeah.
Windmill and flag out there. Great to see Delton make the trip out and have souvenirs. He had a lot of people there. But yeah, this is just a super event surrounded on 2 sides by cornfields. I mean, it's like I said, quickly becoming one of my favorites. And not so sure we didn't set a record for hooks, as we had 52 hooks on our Heartland side.
Yeah.
It was,
it was a good
well
show.
attended.
Yeah, it was. They had a good crowd. I mean, the numbers I would say were probably twice as much as last year, probably.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. The street mod class, there was 2. The track dealt us a little fits. I wish if I could change one thing on that event, I wish we had a little break and a little time in between the farm pull and getting it ready for the main show, because it didn't allow us to do a couple of things I'd like to see, and we had to get rolling and try to get through before it got too dark that night. But Thunderstruck, Madison Griffiths was at 398. Casey Honnessy was 395. We sent those guys out. They got a hold of that thing like nobody's business.
Yeah.
However, that changed the next class. We tightened up just a little bit, and I may have went a little strong on the classic mod class. Dave Priest come away with the win, which, you know, I don't have the information in front of me, but that's probably one of the first wins he's had in a little while.
Yeah.
He was at 280. Fleshner with bad ticker 279.82, so that was pretty tight. William Pfister, one piece at a time, 274. Aces High, James Adams 268. Little Red, Bob Palmiere 266. Byron Pfister 1468, 265. Bob Palmiere, Farmall M 264. Kyle Lussetto, Bowtie Binder 261, and Rudolph Darren Priest 250. 256. 7 pro stocks in the next class. This is another one that I was real excited to see catch a win here too. Chris Boats with Screaming Bohemian.
Yeah.
He had a dang nice run on a little bit of a tricky track at that time, and he put 10 foot on Brian Rumbeck, which is a solid truck at second place. Cole Negbauer 281. Matt Schenkel made the trip after Wahoo, out 272. Bronson right on his heels at also 272 for 5th. Matt Hamada 6th, and Paula Boats, Bohemian Outlaw, at 7th. Superfield, we had a couple new guys, pretty tough new guys to show up.
Well, and wasn't that the finals
fixed
for the
income,
national side?
Well, see, there was some confusion there. Actually, the only national class that was there this year was the mods.
Oh, okay.
Because they were a Heartland deal, and I don't know if something got on the app twice or something. We're looking into that to see what the heck happened there. But yeah, Ron was at 326. Gary Kavanaugh, Red Edge, another tough international at 319. Mark Reardon, Rum Runner at 310. Janelle Letter Buck at 306, and Adam Serve Dark Knight at 302. Light Limited Super, Dan Christensen with the win. Yeah. Oh, Maya, yeah, Summer Dad here, I hear. That's Dan's new nickname. He's got picked up a bunch of stray kids or something for the summer.
Yeah, I had a load of them this last weekend.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got that. You got the living quarters in the holler, man.
Yeah, they did a good job of vacuuming the living quarters while we were going down the road in the truck. So
yeah,
I got some use out of them.
Yeah, Dan, I tell you what, track was starting to come around at this point in time, and Dan had a heck of a run. I just watched it on the live stream today, and man, hung the front end off the line and just hit the road.
Yeah,
he was out at 339. My mom's 560, old Biddy, is out at 310. Ed Walker had some trouble with the Blue Ribbon Binder at 156. And we're hoping that's nothing serious and see him out, next weekend. And then Scott Walker, Mighty Max at 152. Naturally Aspirated, there was a little carnage at I think Friday night at West Point.
Sounded like it.
We were down to 4 hooks. We had Larry Renner. Dad drove that night and put on a clinic. 351. Loy Warman 337. Always cool to see this old truck. Stone Cold Lucy. This is kind of a blast from the past. Rumbecks went to work and got that back out. It finished 3rd at 320. Probably the best run it's had since they got it back out.
Yeah.
And Laura Griff's Mama's Nightmare 298. Diesel 3.0, we got John Casper, Mad Max at 324. Truman Henderson coming alive, who broke something in the front end and made it 263 on the back 4 tires.
Yeah.
Light Limited Pro Stock, Jim Darnell, and kind of flying under the radar. Jim's had a damn good year.
Yes, he has.
He's been tough. Red Rider #1 at 335. My kid Zach, proud to add a little bit. He had a heck of a run on the ArcLight tractor at 329. James Adam and Dark Horse at 325, and Jim Darnell and Crazy Horse at also 325. And this was an addition that was new. We've been talking about this. Finally got one of them under our belt, but we hooked the Light Super Ag. We've got a bunch of local Nebraska guys and some South Dakota guys here that are not that far from home that are not going to travel to like Macon, Missouri. So rather than have them just stay home, we invited them out to come to Palmer.
Yeah, and they put on a good show.
Oh, great show. And this guy, I'm thrilled to see his tractor back out running like it is. In fact, I can't wait to see it this weekend at Wisner because I think he's gonna have something to say about that class at Wisner. But Rod Pasota with the Crazy Horse is back to his old form and fashion. Yeah. Yep. So that thing 333 hung the front end and just had one heck of a run there.
Two amazing hooks he's made now.
Yes, Gibbon
picked it up and took it out the gate there too.
Yes. Taryn Beck had a very nice run with the Hustler case, 301. Third was Melvin Nelson, Born Loser Light. Fourth, Haley Spatansky was Super 10. Fifth, Colby Starman, the Bachelor, which that's a new, they've done a bunch of changing to it. And there's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, but. And sixth, Tyler Spatansky had an unfortunate deal. He lost his exhaust pipe. I guess the only good part about that deal is he didn't run it over as well. Because most of the guys I've seen lose a pipe usually flatten a pipe, and that one will live to fight another day. So, and then another class that's one of my favorites. Always puts on a good show is the Light Mods. This was a full-blown outlaw points class. Dalton Henry looks like the old LS combination is back running very good. Ran out to 360. Andrew Beckman with the twin turbine at 352. Gage Ott with Warhawk 350. Garrett Geiger with the Ford tank engine is coming around. That thing's starting to make some serious progress.
Yes, it is.
Number 4, Brian Fuhr at 331, and number 5, Blake Ott 6, Cody Meyer 7, Avery Meyer, which Cody's kid, which I had not, still haven't met her. I guess maybe I saw her for the first time. My son Zach, that's part of the reason we're tractor back here. We're having more brake issues at 202. And Wes Severs had a rough deal. That track had a couple holes and it got him off to one side, and he got DQ'd number 10. So,
and he was on one too.
He was on a pass. Yep. It was just unfortunate. It did what it did. But he'll be back to fight another day. Wisner's on the way.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully. And I guess I didn't see if he hooked at Des Moines.
He did yesterday. I can't remember where he ended up.
I don't know.
Not that I watched it while I was working or anything.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, but that, I tell you, well, and I mean, this was just a great weekend. I mean, you don't want to take anything away from any of the polls, but, West Point was top notch.
Yeah.
You guys do a phenomenal job. Great setting. I mean, it's down right bordering a river, not much different than Wisner, to be honest. And they've got a great facility that can handle 2 tracks, and a crowd that'll hang there and stay there till forever. I mean,
they're kind of a party crowd there.
Yes. Yeah, Wes ended up 6th at the Iowa State Fair. So, yep, and but I mean, it's just a great weekend because it was three really good polls.
Yeah.
So, what's that?
You want to watch it?
Yeah, sure. So, and I'm not too proud to admit I drove my first Massey over the weekend. That was interesting.
And I didn't get any pictures.
Yeah, other people did. At least it wasn't a John Deere.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, so I mean, what a great weekend. I mean, I'm tired, but I can't say I'm ready to do it tomorrow, but I'd do it again.
Yeah.
That was amazing. The pile behind.
And Palmer, I tell you what, that thing's on a path, and Clay is already pinched 11th next year. He wants to improve it. He's looking to add something new. We don't know what that is yet, But I'm excited to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, I got a feeling that cornfield in the background is going to get a little smaller, make room.
Yeah, because to be honest, between the farm pull and the outlaw, the Heartland, and those people, it dang near the pits were pretty darn full.
Yeah. Yep. No, I don't see that pool getting any smaller. I think it's really going to grow.
No, and the environment is just phenomenal. It's one of these,
Yep.
It's just different, man. It's like a destination type pool,
Yep. Yeah, and the fans and everything can come out and hang out with us and walk through the pits and all that. And that's the kind of pools I really enjoy.
Oh, yes. And then Big Iron's over there with their hospitality tent, and probably the only place I've ever seen 2 years running they give away free beer to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, where else do you see that? So, and they seem to be having a good time and enjoying the event as well, which is, great to see a sponsor that involved.
Oh, yeah.
So, and well, and I'll tell you what, we don't have much of a turnaround tomorrow night. We're heading to the Chase County Fair in Imperial. We've been busy, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, we had an unfortunate scheduling deal as Wisner, and I'm excited to see that they've added a third day in Wisner, a third session. We would be in Wisner if it wasn't for that. Well, absolutely. I'm not disappointed to be in Imperial by any stretch, but we will be running through there tomorrow and loading up and hitting the road to get to Wisner for the next 2 nights. The only unfortunate thing is, and I think you and I both suffer from this, is the way they schedule classes. Everything I pull or have a part in hooks Thursday night, same night as Imperial, which is disappointing. But it's still worth the drive for one class. Also, and then we've got the sled there for backup sled too. So,
it's always a good time.
Oh, never bad. So
we can use Friday for maybe a sleep-in day, recovery day, I guess.
Yeah, we should be able to kind of kick back a little bit. Yeah, they got a. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chase County's got a little highlight deal they put out on Facebook. We'll play that.
Oh, really?
Just let it go. Yeah, we'll just let her go.
I gotta share the screen.
Oh, Jazz has got to punch computer buttons, however she's doing it. I guess I was just going to watch it by myself there.
Put in a distance and a little bit more now. I met my baby at the tractor pull. I met my baby at the tractor pull. She dropped the hammer on my heart and soul. I met my baby at the tractor pull. I saw that woman and I lost the wheel. Going faster. Put in a distance and a little.
Okay, paging Ron Stone. I've never heard you sing that song.
Yeah. Not enough Tito's and lemonade. He'll be singing it in the hits this weekend.
At the Thunderdome. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No. So that's pretty much where we're going. Just a couple highlights or things that I was very excited about was we branched out and drug in a few new people. I'm very excited to see what comes out of that South Dakota connection, see if we can get together somewhere on the rules. And that's kind of exciting to just reach out, and get a few more people involved at our level. So,
no, I agree.
1974 wheel horse D160.
Oof. That I cannot help you on the wheel horse. I've been around the garden tractor stuff very little. So,
couldn't even tell you who to reach out to.
Yeah, somebody just got done with football practice. Yeah,
see that. Nice hair, Zach.
Yeah. He's just rubbing it in, Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. Oh shoot! Look, we got a Ron Stone sighting. Ron, where do we drag up we gotta have to talk to the boys at Chase County and see where they found that song, man.
Yeah, he better get to practicing.
Yeah, I'm sure he can do it. Yeah, and Russell, we will be in Windsor, Wisner, Friday and Saturday. We'll see how far we get Thursday night. And this dipstick is they're playing their first game at North Platte St. Pat's. I don't know what he's got held over his mother, but his mother has offered to pick him up off of the bus and come to Wisner with him.
Wow.
So
Did something right there.
Yeah, he does.
Dan may have to play bartender again because apparently Dan mixed up the good stuff. So
Yeah, I'll get the recipes from my brother.
yeah, he's a professional in the family or what?
Well, he's turning into one, I guess. I'm headed to stock up as soon as the show's over and get the coolers packed. So
Yeah. That's one thing. I don't know what the heck I'm going to owe Dan by the end of the year, but man, I'll tell you what, I never pack enough stuff, and Dan apparently likes to cook 3 times the food than he can eat.
yeah, that or my mother, one of the two.
Your
Ron,
mother's
did you
worse.
get the song done yet?
Wrote, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
playing some of it one night last year in
Yeah, he dropped
Iowa.
a chorus on us or something one night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember where that was. Cherokee. He was trying,
Okay.
just starting to write it that night. And
Yep. I got one other deal that was pretty cool. We had a visitor the other day. One of our big fans, Dallas Todd, dropped by the shop, which was pretty cool to see. Got to visit with him for a while. And, it was good to see. One thing makes me happy we're doing what we're doing. He's had some medical problems and he can't drive to all these pulls. But the Outlaw TV, he's watching almost all the pulls.
yep.
So it was kind of neat to hear that and see that, that's allowing him access to still, go to the polls and, or not go to the polls, but, at least stay involved,
Yeah.
And also had one more good conversation with Lana Hubbard off she's I believe, fair manager at Scottsbluff County, and we're darn close to getting a date set for Mitchell. So they're not gonna let that go by without having a pull in Mitchell. That's
yeah.
That's our big one out west here. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know. I tell you, I don't know a heck of a lot else. We're probably going to get back to work because we still got to get some tires knocked on this pile behind us and get trailers loaded and get ready to go tomorrow and knock out another show. So,
No, sounds good. I'm going to get my truck and get stuff loaded. So,
yep. All right. Well, guys, man, thank you for joining us. And I'm looking forward to things slowing down and we can get a little more serious on here, grab some more guests, and we'll kind of get back on this deal. But don't be afraid to check out the Outlaw Pulling TV. The Iowa State Fair unveiled a bunch of new things on the national level. They really stepped up their game, which was cool to see. Our girls on our end and Knowles.
And we're losing Knowles for tomorrow.
Yeah, darn school starting.
yeah.
But I mean, these guys are getting in the groove here, and man, things are really picking up and looking better. I can't wait to see where this goes in the next, finish the season out and what's in store for next. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Come
Jerry.
find us at the pits at Wisner.
Say what now?
Come find us at the pits at Wisner. Be nice
Absolutely,
to meet some of the people that watch us.
The other thing I'm going to tell you, if there's anybody out there listening, I cannot tell you the people that we ran into from home, 350 miles away, that all get worried about getting in the pits. Get out there. We'd be the pullers, not just us, but they enjoy people walking around seeing it. Don't hesitate. Don't be worried. Just do it.
Yeah. Everybody's more than welcome to walk you through their equipment and even let you sit on it or, answer any questions you have. We actually enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, very good. We're going to bounce. Thank you, guys. Thanks for helping Dan. We'll see you tomorrow.
You bet. See ya.
All right. See you.
See ya.